Good day, everyone. My name is Ebelechukwu Franklin, and I am honored to be your speaker today. This presentation is proudly brought to you by the Society for Ecological Restoration (SCR), University of Lagos Student Chapter, as part of our digital training for environmental stewardship. For today's occasion, we'll be taking Google Earth basics, and we'll be exploring how Google Earth, a freely accessible yet powerful geospatial tool, can be used in real world conservation science, and how you can also integrate it in your work, your research, your advocacy, and your planning. What is Google Earth? Let's begin with the basics. What exactly is Google Earth before we start trying to link it up with how effective it is in conservation science? Google Earth is a free, interactive, virtual globe created by Google, allowing users to visually explore almost every corner of the planet. So with Google Earth, you can visualize every corner of the planet at, at the tips of your finger. Mind you, some people confuse Google Earth with Google Map. Google Map strictly helps with navigation, but with Google Earth, you can visualize every corner of the planet, every corner of the Earth. So that is why it is more advanced than Google Map. So please let's not confuse Google Earth with Google Map. So with Google Earth, you can explore satellite imageries, you can view 3D terrains, time lapse features, integrate data layers, and you can also see both natural and man-made landscapes in incredible details, high resolutions, and this is more than just an application for navigation. It helps you. It's a very powerful resource that can be used by educators, scientists, planners, conservationists, whether you're trying to track a deforestation, or you're trying to observe a particular impact in a habitat, or you're trying to create a wildlife corridor, or you're trying to do some sort of conservation work, or create some sort of advocacy, or also help in advocacy planning and implementation. Google Earth can help you as an early scientist, as a researcher, conservationist, and all that. So that's basically what Google Earth is for. So the next slide, I'll be talking on the key features of Google Earth. Like I've explained what Google Earth is, you can't understand Google Earth if you do not understand these key features. Although when I was defining what Google Earth is, I actually mentioned some of these key features. If you remember vividly, I mentioned they have good resolutions, good high resolutions. This is possible because of the satellite that helps capture this image from space. They help you give 3D terrains, buildings that can be man-made, that can be natural. So this they come in very, very high quality, and it helps you be able to depict and also plan historical images through timelines. Yeah. When you're interested in a site of when you have a site of interest and you want to see what was happening previously on that site, what is currently happening, and you can also foresee what will happen in the nearest future. Reason being, for example, I have a site that is heavily impacted by human activities, that's anthropogenic activities, and I want to see what will happen if this impact is continuous. What will happen in the nearest future, in 5 years to come? What is going to happen? Okay, I can also do a study. Okay, I want to see what was going on this site. What was going on this site before it was converted for um, infrastructures and sort of and all that, for human development and for economic growth. What was going on here? I checked previously. Okay, in the last 10 years they had wildlife corridors, but now we don't have wildlife corridors again. Bridges have been built, and now it is affecting wildlife. We have road kills. We have a lot of things like that. So it can help you get this historical image, or you could is have Floods, like what's happening in Lagos now, when the Lekki area has been sandfilled for infrastructures to take place. Some wildlife corridors were shut down. Also, some places that help to serve as buffer zones, that is some lakes, some swamp, some wetlands were all destroyed, and people that are currently inhabiting that area are complaining of floods. Some of them have bad water, water stench, and all that. So this is how you can be able to trace back what's going on, to be able to understand man footprint, the footprint of the environment. So it also helps in location tagging. When I say location tagging, it's something. A good example is if you if you go on your map, that's your Google map, you see locations of organizations, buildings, they are pinpointed on the map. They help you to be able to navigate and all that. So place markers too, they help you to tell, okay, the place exists, and so that it can help you navigate. Even if you're planning to go there in future for research, for tours, they help you with all this as an early researcher, conservationist, and educator. Custom map creation and orientation. Custom map creation with KML files. So KML files are shape files. They are shape files that are that are created from custom maps, and you can share your KML file with anybody that is interested in working in a particular habitat, and you don't want to do grassroots work. You want like to know the background of that area. You can just go online if someone has worked on that area and then you want to understand the geography of the area. You can take the person's KML file. If the person shares it with you, be able to understand the groundwork that has been done there. So with this feature, you can share files, know what is there, get database and all that. So it is also available on the web, mobile, and desktop. I've explored all three of them, but I am more convenient using the web and the desktop version. The mobile version is, I don't know, for me it is kind of too small because I love viewing my maps a lot of in a very large dimension, so I could see what I want to see, zoom in, zoom out conveniently, but the mobile version does not really offer me that convenience. So yeah, so let's go to how do you download and install Google Earth Pro. Like I said in the beginning, it is free. It is Google Earth is freely accessible. There's no paid subscription. You can use all tools and all that on and all elements on it without paying. So the first thing is to go to the official download page or for Google Earth Pro. Google Earth Pro is like the advanced version. It's also free. You go to the official download. This is the link here. Then when you go there, you see something like this. Create maps with advanced to download Google Earth on desktop. You click on download Google Earth on desktop, and it works on Windows 7 and above. That is one good thing. And for the iOS users, that's the Apple users, you it works on Mac OS 10.8 or later. So the first step, you go to the official download page, just search Google Earth Pro, click on download or use the download link provided in this slide. The second step, you need to accept the terms and click download, like you can see in the picture, the image there. The third step, once downloaded, you need to agree to the terms of the download before it even allows you to download, so you can start downloading. Then once it has downloaded, it will tell you to run a particular installer. Please make sure you follow the on-screen instruction, so for you to be able to complete the setup, it will check how compatible the software is with your device and all that. So after installation, you can launch the application from your start menu or your application folder, depending on how convenient it is. Like I said, Google Earth Pro is compatible with Windows 7 or higher for the Windows user. For the Mac users, Mac iOS 10.8 and above, and it doesn't really require high-end computers, but and it is even accessible for researchers, but Pro features that are on Google Pro that are very useful for conservation. We have the import GIS feature. Like I said, KML are shape files that you can use to share between scientists, educators, people who are that of area of interest in a particular site. Yeah. So the shape files upload spatial data, park boundaries, etc. etc. This shape file can map things like protected areas, animal migration routes, or water bodies, depending on what you want to use it for. Second on my list, it helps you to export high resolution images up to 4008 to 3000 pixels, perfect for reports, posters, and academic publications. You can also measure distance and areas with precision. Google Earth Pro offers you this feature, which is very, very crucial for calculating habitat sizes, buffer zones. Oh, I need a buffer zone of 100 meters to know what's going on here. Also, very important in historical imagery archive. Like I mentioned before, it allows you to track environmental changes over the years or even decades, and it even can even help you to foresee what is also happening on that in that environment. And with the record tour feature, you can also create narrative flyovers, tell compelling stories, visual stories like coastlines that are under threats, wetlands that have been impacted, etc. etc. So these are some of the pro features you can find on Google Earth that are very, very useful for conservation. So the key tools and functions in Google Earth. These key tools are what you use to navigate the Google Earth platform. You have the search bar, which helps you to navigate any place on Earth instantly, except the place does not exist. The search bar helps you, but if you have the latitude and longitude, you can easily fine tune or get any place easily. You can navigate through searching by searching the name of the place. You can also navigate by also inputting the latitude and longitude of anywhere on Earth, and it will get you to that place. Although some names may not exist, but if there's no name given to that particular place yet, the latitude and the longitude will be able to fetch you the location of that place using the search bar. Like I said, the Voyager, it offers ready-made educational journeys on topics like climate, oceans, endangered species, wetlands, so you can easily explore. With the place marker tools, you can pin locations, you can add notes, you can add links, you can even add photos. Yeah, you can add photos. I'm not sure of videos, but I know you can add photos. And for the polygon and the path tools, you can trace boundaries, you can draw migration corridors, you can delineate forest zones, you can delineate wetlands, you can identify wildlife corridors, etc. etc. For the historical image, which is one of the topmost feature in Google Earth Pro that I really like, it helps you to time travel. Like I said, you can see land changes over time, ideal for documenting threats on biodiversity conservation, endangered species, etc. etc. And with the 3D, you can view mountains, valley deeps, oceans, urban skies, and the rest of them. Yeah. So these are one of the key tools and features, functions of functions in Google Earth. So why does Google Earth matter so much to conservation? It matters so much to conservation because it enables monitoring of remote or hard to access areas. For example, if you're trying to carry out a study in a very hard to access area, you can use Google Earth to first do a desktop review to be able to get a pictorial image or visualize how to go about carrying out the proper study, for you to know how the terrain is, try to get pathway to be able to access it, know what is presently in that habitat and all that. So it helps you to be able to access and navigate how to access area. It is very good for site reconnaissance. The first time you want to go to a site, you try to first identify the site, get some little information about the site before you go for your physical visit. It helps in time lapse awareness, which that is view. It's you can view changes over time. When we're talking about viewing changes over time, we're talking about viewing um, impacted areas such as shrinking lakes, forest lost, um, destroyed wetlands, etc., etc. It also helps in evidence for advocacy that can be used for planning and management. It can be adopted in any framework. It can be adopted by government agencies and also NGOs and parastatals that are interested in biodiversity conservation. Yeah, so it helps by providing evidence such as maps, visuals, animations that can be used in reports, funding proposals, stakeholder presentation, etc., etc. It also supports public storytelling, like the use of Voyager for projects that could help NGOs share their work. Not just NGOs, could help um, educators, scientists share their work and in very, very engaging and insightful ways. And finally, there are no cost barriers attached to Google Earth and its use. Everything is free, down to its tools, its resources, and whatever you find available on the Google Earth application. It is entirely free. So students, NGOs, low income countries can tap into the wealth of tap into this wealth. So that being said, this my right hand side here you see a picture that was taken by Google Earth. This picture was taken with the street view. Street view is another function that you can find on Google Earth Pro. It enables you see visualize pictorial evidence of streets, what is happening on the street. You could see houses, facilities, animals, whatever the satellites in space captures. Yeah, so this was from WWF, and it's captured an elephant corridor across a fragmented forest in Kenya. And this image helps stakeholders to understand the urgency to protect this land. As you can see, the land is not doing well. We have trees and plants barely surviving. Desertification is really encroaching, and so with this they can get a picture even without going to the site or to going to the habitat. They already know what is happening here, and then can see how the elephants are faring. Yeah, and we all know that elephants are one of the are one of keystone species in habitats that are very, very crucial for the survival of such habitats, because they help um, create some sort of habitat for other animals, and once they are not present, a lot of animals and plants die. Yeah, so not just die, they go into extinction, some of them too. Yeah, that's another topic for another day. So next I have also a case study, still on that case study on Kenya. So this is still on the Worldwide Fund for Nature (WWF) project in Kenya. This was captured by Google Earth. You can see the dates. You can also see the street view of the elephants and their corridor. So the Worldwide WWF they carried out a project in Kenya to help reduce human and wildlife conflicts. Human and wildlife conflict that so the WWF, the Worldwide Fund for Nature, used Google Earth Pro to map and visualize elephant migration corridors in fragmented forest, and it's worked by them using fitted GPS collars that use LoRaWAN technology to transmit real-time location data. So this migration paths were layered into Google Earth, revealing how development was disrupting ancient routes and wildlife corridors for these elephants. And it also helped in stakeholders planning and engagement because there were a lot of human and wildlife conflicts that were going on in that community. So this is a typical example of a use case in which Google Earth was applied. Yeah, so without wasting much time, the question and answer section. If you have any question and answer, you could kindly raise up your hand. But before that, for tomorrow's exercise, we will be um, doing a practice exercise. Is a basic exercise where we would identify a local conservation site of our choice. It could be a forest, it could be a wetland, it could be a park, nature park, and then we'll use Google Earth to identify the sites, use place markers, draw boundaries, and take screenshots. So that will be the exercise for tomorrow. And then thank you for your attention. We have additional resources you could actually still explore, videos, writing materials that you could look into, and then if you want to develop yourself further and read further, so you can go on YouTube, search for introduction to Google Earth for beginners, using Google Earth for environmental marking, tutorials, and etc. So thank you for your attention.